Hi, Bob Summers here, and I want to show you three really neat internet marketing techniques that Roy Lance is using to promote his A Christmas Carol reading CD, MP3, and also his live presentations. Now, these are three internet marketing techniques that you can use not just during the holiday season, but whenever you want. And I want to show you what he's doing right. Now, to start with, he has his own website, A Christmas Carol Reading, and I particularly suggest that you do that if you have a unique product or service to sell. One of the things you don't want to do is have lots of different products and services on one website because you're not going to be perceived as an authority. Now, even though Roy is a professional speaker 12 months out of the year, during the Christmas holidays, this is what he does. So he's created a separate website just for his Charles Dickens and A Christmas Carol products and services that he offers. So to start, let's just take a look around the website. I want to show you some really interesting things he's done here. To start with, if I go to, let's go to listen to live excerpts, you can actually listen to a taste of what Roy does on his CD. Let's click on it for just a minute here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. You get the point. But there's an excerpt of his CD, and it goes on for, a minute or two or whatever, but it gives you a taste of what Roy is offering. Now, if you're a speaker or if you're selling a CD, I strongly encourage you to give people a taste of what it is you're doing so they know what they're buying. It will significantly increase your conversion rate. Another thing I want to show you that Roy's done, and I think this is ingenious, it's known as link bait. And if you don't have what's known as link bait on your website, I strongly encourage you to do that. And what link bait is, it's something you've created on your site that other people want to link to because it's really cool. Now remember, this is his Charles Dickens site, and this is a Charles Dickens quiz all about A Christmas Carol. So you can go through and take Roy's quiz. For example, how long did it take Dickens to write A Christmas Carol? 31 days, 6 weeks, 4 months, or 1.5 years. I don't know the answer to it, but I'm just going to put 6 weeks on and submit my answer. And you can see Roy is walking you through the 10 questions, or at least 10 questions, and then he'll show you how well you know A Christmas Carol. Now, this is a really interesting thing, and a lot of people that are Charles Dickens fans like to link to pages like this. And again, Roy is only interested in people who are Charles Dickens fans and A Christmas Carol fan. So he's targeting a very specific market using this link bait thing in the form of a trivia question, and I encourage you to do that as well. Another thing I want to show you is something known as joint venture marketing. Now, Roy, of course, is trying to sell his public speaking, and he's trying to sell his CDs and MP3s. So here's one of the things we encouraged him to do, and that was to go over to all the Dickens celebrations around the country and list them. So what he's done here is these are all the Charles Dickens celebrations that Roy's been able to find, and he's posted them on his website along with a link to these other people's websites. And we can click to it and see, here's one, the Riverside Charles Dickens Festival, which is really neat. So in reality, what Roy is doing is he's going out to these people and he's saying, I want to provide something to you first. So instead of saying, hey, Riverside Dickens Festival people, I want you to buy my CDs and resell them there, Roy is approaching them saying, hey, I'm putting together this very comprehensive page on my site of all the festivals around the country, and I want to promote your festival. Will you come and check to make sure everything is accurate, the link is right? So now what's happened is these folks all have a very positive first impression of Roy and what he does. And the goal, of course, is for these people to ask Roy, tell me more about what you do. Can you send us your CDs? And by the way, they don't have to ask. After this is done, Roy is much more likely to talk to them about something where they now know him, like him, and trust him. There's a form of reciprocity. So if you can do this on your website, promote the people that you're trying to sell to, promote them first, and you're going to find they're much more open to wanting to promote what it is you do and sell your products and services or buy them on your behalf. Now, let's go to one of the internet marketing techniques that Roy is using, and it's video marketing, and this is really, really cool. I'm going to go to YouTube. And here we are, November 10th, 11th, something like that. And I'm going to type in A Christmas Carol reading. Let's see. A Christmas Carol reading. Pardon me a second here. And let's see what YouTube has to show us. Now, you'll notice the first video that comes up is Roy Lance right here, a Christmas Carol reading, and Marley Was Dead. I'm going to click on this because I want to show you something really interesting Roy is doing. All right, let's go ahead and pause it right here. What Roy has done is put together 8 little video vignettes to promote, again, himself, his CD, etc., etc. And he's taken these vignettes and he's putting them out on YouTube and all of the other video sites. Now, the goal is to put one up at a time so that you're always at the top of the most recent videos. So if we go back, you can see that at the very top, and I did mean a Christmas Carol reading, at the very top, here's Roy's video. So now when someone else puts a new one up and puts him down in the second place, he'll put up a second video. But let me go ahead and click on a Christmas Carol reading and I'll show you what he's done on his video that's really, really neat. Now to start with, obviously Roy has a Christmas Carol performance reading with Roy Lance. One of the things I would have encouraged him to do in the beginning here is to have his website address at the bottom. And let's just play a little bit of this. I want you to see what Roy's done. It's really neat.
Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner.
Okay, we'll stop right there. So what Roy is doing now all over the internet, on YouTube, Dailymotion, Rever, etc., he's giving people an opportunity to get to know him, to see what his live performance is like. But let's go to the end of this video and I'll show you something else of interest. Here you can see, let's just stop it. Whoops. Oh, how did I do that? Let's go back here. Where you can see audiobook, it's big and bold. And you can see now that Roy has listed, I'm sorry, I don't know why that's happening here. You can see that there's a link to Roy's website. But over here to the right, I want to show you something else of interest. Under more information, I'm going to click on this, and a lot of people do this. Here, the very first thing you see is a clickable link leading back to Roy's website. Now, it doesn't make sense that this would fit in a description, but it's a great way to make it real easy for people to get back to your website. Now, this particular vignette that Roy did was Marley Was Dead, etc., etc. But what I want to show you is at the very end of it, Roy has what's called a call to action. So Marley Was Dead in this reading of A Christmas Carol by Roy Lance. Go to this clickable link to take the A Christmas Carol trivia quiz. So you can click here, and anybody that's interested in what Roy's doing, Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol, and of course they are because they're here at this video, they're going to go ahead and click on this and they'll be taken to Roy's site directly where they can take the trivia quiz. Now you'll notice that we have the http:// and then the website address. Now you have to do that in order for this to be a clickable link. So there we have it. These are the 3 things I wanted to show you. One is to demonstrate what it is you're offering, whether if it's a CD, etc., to some extent. 2, you want to be able to have link bait. In Roy's case, a little trivia test, which is really cool. And if you can do that, that's great. And there's lots of forms of link bait. Forms are statistics, are research you've done, or a list of top 10 things that other people want to link to. Actually, there's 4. The third one is Roy's reciprocity, where in fact he has done something for someone else first, and then they do something for him in return. And finally, with the video marketing, creating vignettes, putting them out on the internet, and directing people back to your site, and making it very easy for them to do so. So I hope you found this helpful. If you can use any one of these 4 techniques, that's fabulous. Go forth, prosper, and have a great Christmas.